very paramount. Once these things are done, a lot of other things will follow.
Now, how would you want this to be done? Because people are wondering, like some of us, some people don't even know that there's a review, a master plan review, and all of that stuff. How long has it been coming, and what do you think? What reviews, what areas would you want to see reviewed?
Now, the master plan was developed initially for the development of a new capital city of Abuja, so that it will enable the government in Lagos to relocate to a city in Abuja. So it was meant for a new city. Now, it has been there for like the past 40 years. Review started as far back as maybe 20 years ago, but it's ongoing. It has not been concluded. A lot of hiccups here and there. Now, when this review is completed, there is need for a birth of a new plan for an existing city that now needs to be developed, consolidated, and to become a sustainable, livable, and a resilient city. So it's no more the capital city developing. It has developed. It has grown. There are trends that have emerged. Now is to consolidate on this, to study those, and then now develop a sustainable city.
Well, as town planners, how have you been able to, support in this review? Have you been able to make your inputs, saying that the review has started, it is not complete? If the next administration is, or the next minister of the FCT comes in, where would they be taken off from, and what would you want them to personally? I mean, what submissions have you put forward as an institution?
Now, from the national body to the local chapter in the FCT, we've made several visits to different agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of the review of the master plan. We've written and then we've held workshops and made our presentations known and our findings to the government. However, some of the things we itemize are the fact that, one, the city has grown in function. It's no more only an administrative city. Is a business, is a commercial city, is an industrial city, is a city that people come with different kinds of businesses to do. Then land uses have grown, but it has also started facing various problems associated with urbanization, population growth, change of land use, land grabbing, land speculation, pollution, poor waste management, slums and squatter settlements and all that stuff. So we itemize all those things as things that needs to be reviewed and needs to be tackled in the review of the master plan.
Okay, you've mentioned some of the big problems that we're facing in Abuja currently when it comes to, town planning and land issues. There's a lot that's going on. But, talking of migration, lots of people are moving to the FCT. And when we talk about migration, there's the pull and the push factors. Now, when we look at the fact that the FCT is becoming densely populated, it means that a lot more people are sharing the resources that were meant for a fewer number of people. What can be done to ensure that, look, like for instance, there are communities that used to have, potable water, pipe-borne water. Now you go to those places, it's no more. They don't get the water. They don't get water. More people are sharing. People are coming up with slumps and all of that stuff. You just wake up one morning and you see people living in, an open space. What can be done to tackle this?
Yeah, that goes to the second review concept I said. Review the current urban management structure. Now, the management structure itself was meant to implement the master plan for a new city. It was not meant to manage the development and growth of a new of an existing city that has grown over time. So now, some of those departments that are saddled with the responsibility of implementing this master plan need to have more schedules. For example, the Department of Resettlement and Compensation was meant to resettle people, the natives, to other areas so that their land will be developed. Why don't you increase urban renewal? Why don't you increase integration? Why don't you increase urban upgrading? The development controller is just meant to, okay, this is the plan, this is what the master plan says, then you have to do according to the master plan with a 2-story, 3-story area. Why don't you densify, introduce densification, so they can also be saddled with the schedule of densifying the already existing parts of the city that, of course, maybe the buildings have aged, they make the city look ugly, they are dirty, so we need to upgrade, we need to densify. So some of these things will help regulate all this excessive abuse of available utilities, because now when you now want to densify, you have to increase whatever you are providing, and you have to provide more space for certain uses, and then other consolidated uses can be introduced to that area. So some of these departments need their schedules to be either reviewed, removed, or added, so that they will now be able to be empowered to manage the city as an existing growing city that is being developed. For example, you go to most of the district offices, they are just to manage and make sure that these developments are going on. Saddle them with the responsibility of going around that district that they are to monitor, to check where needs to be upgraded, where needs to be reviewed, where needs to, a lot of things, make suggestions, give them tasks to provide suggestions and proposals for upgrading.
Very well. Let's talk about one area that a lot of people, I'm sure, who have bought properties in the FCT will be concerned about: land grabbing. It's becoming rampant. People buy properties, and all of a sudden, somebody comes and says it's their property. They begin to, in fact, sometimes begin to develop even before the person who originally owns the property. You have a situation where several people owning one property, or laying claim to ownership of a property, and you look at, sometimes they have even documentation to support it. What is going on, and what is the FCT administration doing to ensure that these land grabbing situation is a thing of the past? So that people can actually acquire property in the FCT and go home, confident enough to say, this is my property. There's no one who's going to drag this with me.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of things that led to land grabbing, because it's a recent but consistent recurring issue in the FCT. Initially, the area councils had zonal planning managers sent by Department of Urban Regional Planning to rapidly develop the regional areas of the city. These zonal managers create layouts and then allocate this land to people to develop. So they are meant to be a kind of source of land for the low income, the people who cannot afford the big lands in the city center. Now, over time, when the then Minister of FCT, Nasir El-Rufai, came, they found out that there was probably a duplication of these layouts, a multiplicity of allocation letters, cloning and all that stuff. So they now suspended the drafting of these layouts by the zonal managers. Now it is the responsibility of the lands department or the urban regional department to do that within its purview. Now, what happened was, later on, areas like Lugbe, areas like Kuje, areas like Kubwa, Zubagwa, Goleda, and other places, if an existing layout has maybe 100 plots and there is land beyond it, now since it is banned, the same person that did that layout before might cunningly go and extend the land to now 200 plots and now sell it to unsuspecting buyers. Now, it may or may not be captured in the system. Then, over time, when he leaves the office, they bring another one. The other person might also draw his own layout and can tab on that one and sell. But there's always, for those layouts that are genuine, there are standard records in the zonal office in the area council. When you go to zonal offices, the zonal manager's office has all those records. Even though some were purported to have gone with their records, you don't even have them. Now, so this kept on going until people now realized that land is gold in Abuja. Then they now came in full force and started getting these people, paying them. Or they don't even get some. Now they don't even need anybody. They just see open land, carry army, carry thugs, fence it, harness it, and boss off anybody that comes there, intimidate the person, and then they start developing. So you that is legitimate owner, if you don't have the lever to fight them, your land is gone. And most people don't even know the process of recovering their land or the process of development. So it continues. It's very rampant around Lugbe. And then so now the issue is that we requested the authority the existing layouts that you have that are approved, make it available to the public for them to see, so that they will know whether the land they have is genuine or not. You now, once somebody grabs your land, it is easy for you to say this is not your land. We don't have those records. People don't have access to those records. They are supposed to be accessible. Now, so
But then when you say records that are supposed to be accessible, I thought that was why Aegis was created. Aegis is supposed to provide, digital information as to, land and properties in the FCT.
The land allocated in Aegis is the one that is statutorily allocated by the FCT minister. The ones that are allocated by the area council zonal managers, that are allocated by the zonal managing office. Sometimes the records were not straight before. I think it was when Aegis was set up that those records were, they were asked to send all the records. That gave rise to the formation of actors. That gave rise to the all those other departments that are supposed to consolidate all the records from area council. So Aegis may not have all those records, but the records are available in the area councils. And then, so if you go there, you will get those records. Now, over time, we have asked the authority to merge these records. We have also advocated for them to make the records available. And then people who want to buy land should be able to find out first, go and do a lot of checks. People have so much money in their hands that they are eager to part with the money without actually doing due process. Then other times, people will buy land, they will get that land, then they feel it's like in their village that when you have land for 30 years, it will be waiting for you because your father's name is there. In Abuja, it's not like that. It's one of the fastest growing cities in Africa. So people want land, people want to develop. So once you have land and you don't take possession, somebody is there to help you do that for his own good.
This is very, 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 very important aspect of this conversation, because people have alleged some level of connivance, between the land grabbers who may have deep pockets, especially because, most of the land that they get, they don't have to really pay for, and they make money off it. Some level of connivance between them and the people in the FCTA, Aegis, and the likes. And so sometimes, even when an owner is genuine, because they are even more powerful and have more money than the owner of the property, people end up losing their property.
Yeah, in every organization, you have bad eggs, and then that partly has to do with probably the employment structure. Recently you find that there is no straightforward employment structure. There are no guidelines and rules. You don't see people appear in an office that they are employed. So what is their capacity? What is their discretion towards doing the right thing, towards applying the real principles that apply to their jobs? That's number one. Number two, yes, there may be connivance, but I also blame those who buy. If you buy a property, Nigerians, my people, let me say, I don't want to accuse everybody. Most people don't really go and dig up information. They feel everything you say is right. They don't find out. They are not really very inquisitive. And that is because sometimes some of the monies that people use to buy these properties are questionable sources. Because you want to just get away, part with the money, even though some have genuine sources. But then let's not even blame the buyer. Let's look at the people who are the land grabbers. Yes, they have money. In fairness to them, there is also land speculation. There are those who have bought land, who have land allocated them within the city center. Like there's a woman that has over 10 hectares within the city center. Okay, she's the wife of an old big man. An estate developer wants to develop land within the city. I didn't say sell. Do joint venture with this person so that at least this place will be developed. Everywhere is developed. She said she's not ready. That's land speculation. What are you keeping the land for? But also there's a clause in the allocation letter and in the provisions of government that if you are given a plot, there are infrastructure and you don't develop for a period, it should be revoked. Those clauses are not applied. Now, if you are given a land and you claim that you didn't develop it because government did not provide infrastructure, did you go and ask? You have the right to go and ask, I need to develop this place, but there's no infrastructure. Okay, all of you that have land there, can you converge and start manually providing access to your plots? So things like this have to start coming up so that you don't blame government for not providing infrastructure. Every day government will tell you they don't have money, but you have your property and then you stand to lose it. So why don't you try to see what you can do to access it? Then the speculators, government should take stock. I've said it. Government should take stock of all these lands, especially within developed areas that have infrastructure that have not been developed for the past 20 years. Revoke them. Is either or give them a mandate. You either develop this within the next 2 years, or your land stands to be revoked. So you are now compelled to either get somebody to do joint venture, or sell it, or do anything. And then those areas that government feels that they need to be upgraded, like the city center, you can tell them, okay, this place is no more 2 bungalow, 1-story building, or 2-story. You need to go up to like 5 or 6 stories for consolidated development. So you have 2 options: either sell that place or get somebody to join venture and do the development. So in all fairness to the people that they term land grabbers, they are helpless, they are desperate, they have money, they have ideas, they are entrepreneurs, they want to develop, but how do they get this land? They cannot go to the government and say, give me land, and there is no designated district. There are about 92 districts in this city. How many have been developed? Okay, can the government expand more this? Okay, this district is designated for purely high density estate development, medium density estate, or mixed density estate development. Give them. Some of them even have the money to provide infrastructure. All they want is the land.
But then that doesn't justify grabbing somebody else's land. Somebody who has worked so hard to get a property, and all of a sudden they see, and sometimes they just sell off sell off the the land in bits and pieces to several other people, unsuspecting Nigerians who would lose their money. Because maybe at the end of the day, when the real owner of the land comes and reclaims his property, those people have lost their money. What can be done in a situation? You mentioned something about taking possession or so if after allocation. What do you mean by that?
When you have an allocation of land, the first thing you do is go to the district office. I want to develop this land, I have this land. The district officer has every land available. He has a map, he has a layout given to him to monitor all the developments in the area. So it contains all the plots, existing approved plots. So he will identify your plot, and you want to fence. He will now tell you the process of getting approval for fencing. You now start fencing. When you fence, he will now guide you or on how to go and ahead about getting approval for the development. It's good to start that immediately, so that at least you are already in discussion with them. They know you. You understand? But some people will buy land and put that paper in their box. They will never even go to it. Like somebody gave me a 20-year-old allocation that she has never been there. We went there. Of course, somebody took it away, or the policy has changed. They've changed it. So it's difficult to recover that land. But if it is just recent, and then sometimes the owners of the land don't know the procedure. There are town planners in this country, in this city, that are registered. I can assure you, once you have a problem of land grabbing and you get a town planner, that town planner will get to the bottom of your problem. I'm not saying it because I'm a town planner. That is what we do. I've resolved a lot of cases like that for many people. And I'm still in the course of doing that. If you once your issue is genuine, we will get to the root of it, because it is our people that are in the system. We send it, they check, and then we start the procedure. If you are going to collaborate with the person that grabbed your land, or he will pay you, or he will do whatever, but at least it will be established who is the legitimate owner of the land. Because yes, you say there are corrupt people in the system. They are all over. But then we can work ahead of them if you get the right professional. The problem is that when you have that kind of problem, you probably meet the wrong person. Then that person already will take you to the person that helped to grab your land. Then they will now be making things difficult for you. But there are genuine town planners that once you meet them, they will get to the bottom of your problem. So anybody that has the issue of land grabbing, our institute, if you give them our address, they can come to our institute, they can call us. We will go and check their issue. If it is genuine, I assure you we are going to get to the bottom of the problem.
Let's talk about some of these sharp practices. What are some of the sharp practices that are going on? Aside from land grabbing, there are other, some of the ways that people do these things, allocating property or land to multiple people and giving all of them having deeds to the property or to the land. And you have people going to court for many months. All of them have genuine papers.
When you go to the area council offices, you will see some people hanging around, moving up and down. They have their own layouts in their boots, in their cars. They are land cloners. Once they see your paper, they can clone 10 of them. When they clone them, people who don't know how to validate these documents, they now buy them. And then when you go to develop, you see 10 people coming to say they have the land. But the record in the zonal office will actually show you the legitimate allotee of that land. That's number one. That's for area council plus. In parks and recreation, that is a banger because there are successive directors that have managed the department, and then it is a serious issue now because you find out that you have one park, it has allocation of Isa Shaib, Ologu, Achi, Abu, and other people. Even for Isa, for Achi, you have maybe 2 or 3. You have one for Ologu, so you have about different directors that successively allocated that park for different people. Then you will see people fighting. Some will say, okay, disintegrate. Some will say, okay, let's relocate. But they are serious issues. And this is why I said the management structure have to change. Their schedules have to change to fit the existing and contemporary emerging problems that are coming up on land management, on planning in the city. If there are schedules, if they don't have a schedule to do that, because if they say only the schedule of the director is to allocate land, they didn't say he should manage them, he should ensure it is developed and things like that. So some of the schedules from different departments have to be taken and given to those who actually are supposed to do it, and then so that the whole thing will go at par with the development. But there are serious issues of that in this.
Very well said. The conversation quite interesting. You can join the conversation. We'll be talking shortly about, the indigenous people and, talking about integration and also, getting them to feel a sense of belonging in their, what they call ancestral home and how we can manage that. And my guest this morning has been Mrs. Lami Ayuba, Chairman, Nigeria Institute of Town Planners, FCT chapter. She's joining us. Quite an interesting conversation, you would agree. I have messages here coming in. You can join the conversation shortly. Keep these numbers really close. When we open up the phone lines, you can join in and ask questions, make comments, and generally just share thoughts with us. 09073530044 and 09087668888. That is 09073530044 and 09087668888. You can send SMS and WhatsApp messages to 09097054450. 09097054450. Keep it with us.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Eagles
playing the music you want.
Eagles 102.3.
At Stella Maris Nursery and Primary School, we do not only encourage our kids to dream of success, we teach them to get up every morning and make it happen. With over 25 years of stellar educational magic, dedicated and qualified staffs, conducive and serene environment spread across Abuja, you can be sure that quality education is at your doorstep. So what are you waiting for? Make learning fun and exciting for your little ones today. The dates for entrance exams are 24th June and 12th August 2023 respectively. For more enquiries, call 0809 037 3727 or check us online at smsabuja.com. Stella Maris campuses are at Area 1, Life Camp and Wumba, Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just 15,000 naira? Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. The Entrepreneur. Talk your business for just 15,000 naira. Hurry now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Good morning again. Thank you so much again for staying with us. We've been talking, setting an agenda for the next FCT minister, looking at land issues and development generally of the FCT. My guest has been Mrs. Lami Ayuba, Chairman, Nigeria Institute of Town Planners. You agree with me, she knows her onions, and she's been making revealing certain things to you. I'm sure you're learning. Those of you who have properties in Abuja, you know how, the pain of losing property. Some of you have experienced it. Some of you are currently dealing with maybe one land grabber or something like that. You can join in the conversation and share thoughts with us. It would be quite interesting. By the way, we still will be talking about the Abuja International Housing Show, and stay with us here. You're not going to miss out on any part of the conversation. Let's bring in a caller quickly. Hello, good morning.
My friends.
Good morning, Paul. Good to have you.
Happy wet Friday.
Yes, so it's a very, very fine Friday morning.
Maybe you knew Madam Lami was coming to talk about land. That's why you called the rain to hit us this morning.
No, I did not call rain. No, I don't have that power.
Yeah, Madam Lami, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, well, it's my friend, it's quite an interesting topic this morning. And I say it's interesting because of what is happening in the FCT. Now, my question to the guest is that, you see, you go to an area, you find out that area has a layout with developments going on, houses built. Then somebody has a property that he has fenced. You will turn out to see another person coming to build inside that property. And when you ask, you hear that the district head has sold the land to somebody to come and build, and then the person will come quickly and start building. What do you do in that kind of situation? And then, second question is, you have to bought a property to check with the local government, and you saw the property genuine with the layout approved, and then later you will see people coming around to say this layout was not completed. They have removed it from the system. In connivance with staff working at the local government. And who do you find out to do that? They do that in connivance with the traditional rulers. And then maybe at the end of the day, traditional ruler will call you to say, come, let's sit down and talk. Not minding that before you do that development, which generally everywhere you go, if somebody comes, you have to settle maybe the normal omole, all those things. You settle and then you relax just to allow peace to them and then let development go on. How do you do in this kind of situation? Thank you.
All right, Paul, thank you very much for calling. And you too can join the conversation, share your thoughts with us. You got Paul's question. Yeah. How would you respond to Paul?
Well, let's start with the district head allocation. The district heads in FCT for now, by the policy existing in FCT, can only give land that is within their village allowed development. That is why when they go for demolitions, they don't touch the village. Now, if you are buying land from the district head, from his village setting, I don't think there is any tenure attached to it, apart from the agreement that you sign with the district head. So, that one, I don't have much to say about it. If you are not careful with them, they can sell that land to 10 people. It's for you to verify with the people that are under him whether that land is genuine or not. But if there is a layout existing and the district head sells your plot to another person and he says it is the district head and it is an existing layout and you go and verify, then look for a town planner or go to the zonal manager and lay your complaint. And if he does not answer you, in my chapter, we have set up an advocacy committee. That committee this is one of the responsibilities of that committee, to attend to these issues individually and voluntarily, to see how we can give confidence to the people about planning. That planning is not just about X and demolition. It's also about citizen participation. It's all about inclusive planning. So we will get to the bottom of your matter. Then if there is a layout approved and then you go there and they say that layout is not there, that's what I told you earlier, that somebody will have there is already an existing layout of 100 plots. Then they will go, because when you be careful who you follow to go and verify your plots. He might be the agent of those who want to dupe you. So we have had situations whereby somebody went to the development control URP department to verify, and they took him to one office. He saw somebody sitting down calling that he's the director, and they gave him every document and everything. They say is genuine. It was all made up. It was all made up. So be careful. Verify the authenticity of the person you are going to verify your plot from, and even the office. Verify from the staff profile, verify, take your time to do that. Don't be in a hurry to part with your land. So once you do that verification and you know that yes, he's legitimately the employee of the agency, and then that person is the legitimate person you need to see, and then for the benefit of doubt, please use 3 people. Don't use only one person for verification. But if you have any issues, come to our secretariat. Our advocacy group will help you, will advise you on how to go about your problems, and then we'll tell you whether it is actually legit or not. But like I said, there are many cloned layouts, there are many extended layouts. People are just desperate, and then one person will have 100 plots selling. And then what baffles me is that people just buy paper. They buy paper, and then before they go and start verification, because they tell you that you must buy, they just want to buy, and then they see it cheap. It's affordable. They see it cheap. They buy paper. Don't buy paper. Buy land. So visit it first. Most people that come to me and say they want to buy land, I say go and see the place. Go and get a surveyor to establish whether the perimeter on paper is what is there. Go to the lands department. Go to the URP department to find out that layout exists. There are structures there that you can do that. It's just that we are hoping that one of the agenda they will do is to digitize all these things so that it will be easily accessible. Digitize them so that it will, but once this is once you have this kind of clone layouts, let us know, but make sure you are careful with who helps you to verify, because if you are even verified, because some people don't, so verify well and ensure the validity.
Very, very. Let's quickly talk about the indigenous people and resettling them and integrating them in the city. We've had this complaints. I used to have the chairman of the original inhabitants of Abuja, always raising complaints and saying, look, Abuja is not a no man's land. There were people here before, it became the FCT and all, and these people need to feel a sense of belonging in this. What can be done to, actually integrate these original inhabitants of the FCT?
Well, that comes with the second review option I said. Review the first review the master plan and the policies. The policy of resettlement went or is going away with the old master plan, because they had to resettle those who are living in the place they actually plan to develop the city. Now the city has developed, there are clusters. Now let me start with the original inhabitants. Is there a time that they have made proposals to government that they don't want to be resettled? Now, government is one body that when you make a proposal of rejection and you don't give a solution, you might need to wait for somebody to go and create solutions for you. So I would advise, if you don't want to be resettled, then send emissaries to government, write proposals, write ways you can be integrated and make proposals and follow them up, then stand by them, then make noise about them. Because a few questions I asked, somebody said they did not ask for integration. And then unfortunately some of their leaders request for that resettlement because that is where they make money. They will go on behalf of a whole settlement, get resettlement, get plots, then they will go and sell it 7 billion, 8 billion naira. Then they will tell them to move to another place and set up another settlement. That is one. But one thing we are proposing, that I have been proposing, is that every inhabitant settlement within the city doesn't have to be moved. That should be a new policy in the reviewed master plan, that the new one that is coming. Let them be integrated, but because they have educated children now. They have doctors. Some of them have gone all over the world. They are well educated. Well, they are no more the baggies that tie wrapper and carry pot on their head or go. They are educated and enlightened people like everybody. So there should be a platform, a workshop whereby maybe the government should create a workshop, or we might do that for them to educate them that, okay, you can call for integration, not just integration. You have the ability. This land is your greatest resource. You don't have to leave it. You don't have to sell it. The integration doesn't mean they will integrate you and you still be living in your bungalow, self-contained houses with front parlor shops. You can get developers who are willing to develop these areas. Partner with them, go into a joint venture. They densify your development. They give you infrastructure, schools, hospitals, probably scholarships for your children. Instead of having a front parlor shop that you collect rental of maybe 100,000 per annum, why don't they build a mall? That in the mall, you have a sharing formula of the shops they will give to your people. Definitely, rental from a shop in a mall is better than rental from a front parlor shop that doesn't even have a proper gutter in front of it. And then the quality of people that will now move to your neighborhood and add value to your children, to your activity, increase your economy, is better than those that are living there now that are even becoming a problem. Probably some of them are abusing and raping your daughters. Some of them are misusing the opportunities you have. Your women don't have work. They still have to trek long distances to go to farm. When you do joint venture, when you develop and densify, those people who come and develop your community can give jobs to your women. They can give jobs to your young ones. They can give jobs to your people, and high-paying jobs, not menial jobs that they can even hardly get money to earn a living. So there are a lot of opportunities that comes with consolidated development, integration, and upgrading of your development. You don't have to sit down there and still live. We are no more in the primitive era. We are now in the modern era, and most of their people are modernized. They are not primitive. So we should get out of this primitive mindset. They can build densified housing that you can be renting one bedroom self-contained apartment instead of renting a one bedroom that has a toilet elsewhere that people have to trek, no paved surfaces, no landscaping, everywhere is dirty, no drainage, no water, even the market is substandard. There is a lot of modernization and modification that will come with this kind of integrative development that you will develop, you join. You don't have to. What you have.
But do you think that the developers themselves are thinking in this direction to say, look, let's find a way to work with these people?
They should now, because
develop.
that is another way of acquiring
instead of
land,
grabbing land.
The city. Exactly. You can network with them and see how you can. Their land is their greatest equity, is their greatest resource. That one is enough. The location has value on it. So a lot of things comes with modernization and then inclusive development.
And you just, leasing the land is also another option for them. Let's bring in callers now. We have lots of them who have been waiting on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Prince. God bless you.
Good morning, Taking Me. Good to have you.
Yeah, good morning, man.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, God bless you, man. My name is AD. Taking Me. I'm calling all the way from Nassau State. Please, I want to say one thing and also ask the madam and have two questions. And this was putting on agenda for the incoming FCT minister. And the first question is that since the insertion of FCT, it has only been one particular people that has been minister in the FCT. I think that it's a design that only a particular people from a particular location of the country that will minister of FCT. Can't we have someone from Enugu or Bayelsa or someone from Lagos to be a minister of FCT? Must it be from a particular place, in Nigeria? That is number one. Number two, why is it that those who are in charge of demolition, they will come and stop somebody who is building an illegal structure from the foundation? They will allow the person to build complete. Then they will bring a bulldozer. Is it not possible to stop the person from the foundation? And lastly, I want to say that, my prince, please, the incoming FCT minister, we are begging them from Maraba, Kaushi, Adi. Let them give us, a bypass. Where if you don't necessarily have to pass through Maraba, Maraba is giving us headache. Because we have had some former FCT ministers since the time of Bara Muhammad that have from Kaushi, but they ended up not giving us. So we are appealing to the incoming minister to give us a bypass, so that if we have an opportunity of coming into Abuja, you must not pass through Maraba, because the houses that pass through Maraba to Abuja is collecting about 19 states. So that is a huge population. So please, let the incoming minister give us a bypass.
Thank you very much, Tekimbe, for calling. And you wanted to respond to his questions. There's a question here, and it's from Chooks. Chooks says, salutations, Ihanacho. I doff my heart for the lady guest you brought in today. She has spoken well so far. Let me commence by saying that I look forward to an FCT indigent becoming the next FCT minister. Does she support this? In her opinion, how do we really solve the flawed question in the FCT? Chuck's very, very important question you brought forward. Let's go. Let's start with taking base submissions and thoughts before we get to Chuck's.
Okay, let me start with his question about FCT minister. Honestly, I am not the president. I don't have the power to appoint minister. Whoever is appointing the minister, no wise, they appoint ministers from anywhere they want to appoint. Is at their discretion. But as a citizen, I'm looking forward to a time in this country where in the course to appoint ministers, the president will request CVs, will request application. You want to be minister of FCT, send your CV, send your application, give me your plan. What do you want to do for the FCT? And what have you seen that is wrong that you want to correct? If you want to see minister of education, send your CV. So collect CVs from different people. I am looking forward to that state governors too will request CVs for that. So that one is not within my power. Demolition of illegal structures. Now, anybody that is doing an illegal development, from the District Office of Development Control, you will receive an X on your plot first and a date, and it will write stop work, submit papers, or demolition. But they will not demolish. Then the officer in charge will issue you a paper telling you that this is the offense, this is where you are supposed to go. My problem is when these officers mark X in front of somebody's property, you know what people do? They go and get a black paint and wipe it off. Don't mind them, they are useless people. Well, some corrupt people collect money and leave it, some don't. Now, they come and issue you another one. Stop work. Second notice, they will write it because they have a database on how many they have given you. They will write demolition. That demolition notice may be there for the next 2 or 3 years. There's a process. They have to apply. They have to consolidate because they have to move machine and men to your site. So they cannot just come and demolish your one building there. They will keep gathering. There is an axis that they are going to today. So when they gather it and then they have approval, they must also get a court injunction. There are a lot of processes going on before demolition takes place, so that by the time they come, there will not be any impediment. So those people that have received X on their walls and that have received demolition notices, have you gone to the district office to find out why your house was marked? Have you gone to find out what is happening, what they want to know from you? Then if you have interfaced with them, and what did they tell you? Did they tell you, okay, go on with the development, or you just call somebody who you don't know whether it is an official of that department, or some of those kind of people that hang around that pretend they are officials and they collect your money and then they disappear. You do not try to verify whether they are officials of that office or not. Then you go and sit down. So those are